Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you Akim out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. This is an article from The Sun, and it reads, on the brink, Iran could spark terrifying nuclear world war in the blink of an eye. West must strike now, warns ex-U.S. ambassador. Because we all know that what's going on, the situation in the Gaza Strip with the Palestinians and the Israeli gutter rats, which is going to spark to a regional war. Because you have the Lebanese government, which call themselves Hezbollah, have close ties to Iran. And Iran has close ties to Russia. You got the Yemenis government that call themselves Houthis. They also backed by Iran. And Iran is backed by Russia. Now, they're saying that it says, as war looms in the Middle East, Mark Wallace wants to remind the world that Iran is hell-bent on developing a nuclear weapon, and the consequences of that are far too great. Iran perhaps already have a nuclear weapon, which perhaps have been given to them by their close allies, the Russians. So let's not make that mistake. If Iran have hypersonic missiles, then you know they have capabilities they have the capability to attach a nuclear warhead on one or more than one of them hypersonic missiles. So this is all played out because this is the Lord's movie. It's all playing out how the Lord wanted to play out. The Lord is stirring up strife with Israel against all these other nations out there. Because even the West is seeing the genocidal acts of the Israeli government. And the Israeli government is the only so-called democracy, and the Edomite, the only Edomites that's surrounded by number Arabs out there, or different Ishmaelites. Because Arab means mixed. So you got all these different sects out there that totally hate the Israeli government and totally hate America. And like it says in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 45, the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is them gutter rats, them gutter rats over there that's about to bring the whole world, or should I say its allies, into this world's war. And that's what the Lord wants. This is how the Lord is playing everything out. Because you got that assembly of great nations, you got all these different nations aligning themselves and taking part. Some taking part with America, some taking part with the with Russia, China, and Iran, North Korea. And then there's some reports out there saying that Pakistan, which is right now is a close ally of America, has hit targets in Iran. And Iran hit targets in Pakistan. Probably instigated by the American government. But something is going to happen where all these different nations are going to come up against America. What's that? Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. Let's get that real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations. And part of that assembly of great nations, first and foremost, is Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Libya, Ethiopia, India, just to name a few. That's that assembly of great nations. That's what will come up against America, which is Babylon in the scriptures. You see? And it reads, Back in Jeremiah 50, verse 9, for lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, starting with Russia. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. Chaldea is another name for America. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. It says, and Chaldea shall be a, it says, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. Salakia. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And it's coming to that point right now. It's coming to that point because what we see going on here is mass genocide, hypocrisy. Do you have Joe Biden saying that they're going to strike targets in Iran because they're supplying the Houthis with weapons? But wait a minute. Here comes the hypocrisy. What are you doing to Ukraine? Aren't you supplying Ukraine with trillions of dollars in weaponry? Do you see the hypocrisy of the United States and the Western governments that follow behind the United States? Straight hypocrisy. Hypocrisy has no bounds. So you're going to attempt to punish Iran for backing the Houthi government of Hamas and Hamas with weapons, but it's okay for you to back Ukraine with trillions of dollars in weapons to go up against Russia. Make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's straight hypocrisy. Let's read a little of this article. It says, as war looms in the Middle East, Mark Wallace wants to remind the world that Iran is hell-bent on developing a nuclear weapon, and the consequences of that are far too great. Iran could create a nuclear weapon in the blink of an eye, and the West must not fear striking its facilities, a former U.S. ambassador warned. The reason why America has not struck Iran directly, boots on the ground, because they don't want the smoke from Russia, because Russia's definitely going to get involved. Russia's definitely going to get involved. And then that's playing out Ezekiel the 38th chapter. That's going to play out the prophecy in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. If they directly put boots in the ground and start striking Iran, they don't want that kind of smoke. America's a paper tiger now. Their military is exhausted and outstretched. They got humiliated over in Afghanistan. They got humiliated in Iraq. So the American weaponry, the American government is a paper tiger. All the weapons and all the money that they sent Ukraine, and Ukraine's still getting its ass handed to them. They're on the brink of collapse. So it says, Mark Wallace told his son that as the world plunges ever closer to a global catastrophe, the West has lost the plot of reigning in the perished state. Of course they have. Mark Wallace warned that the Iranian regime is terrifyingly close to getting its hands on a nuke. They already have nukes. I guarantee you they have nukes because the Russian and the Chinese government supplied them. They are allies. So of course allies are going to share technology with each other. They allies economically, do BRICS. Because January 1st, Iran officially became a part of the BRICS nations. You see? So they sharing economics together, they military aligned together, so they ain't gonna share, they ain't gonna supply with missiles. Of course they are, man. Of course they are. You see? So it reads, Mark Wallace warned that the Iranian regime is terrifyingly close to getting its hands on a nuke. Iranian protesters burned the American and British flags after the country's launched strikes against the Houthi rebels' targets in Yemen. That happened the other day. So-called retaliatory strikes for them, sinking boats and committing piracy in the Red Sea. It says, a nuclear armed Iran will propel the world closer to the brink of World War III, experts warn. No, America's doing that. By supporting them gutter rats over there, by supporting genocidal acts by the Israeli regime, and allowing all kind of atrocities to be committed against the so-called Palestinians. And even one of them belong in that land. But guess what? They over there. They over there because that's how the Lord wanted. That's how the Lord wanted, man. Say, hey, man. Things is we only in the second month of 2024, and all kind of shit is happening, man. Judgments come from here, wars over here, rumors of wars over here, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Look at Iranian's military arsenal. You know, they have Feta missiles. They have Calibar. They got Shihab missiles. They got all kind of missiles. They got 2 nuke plants. They got active troops, 75,000, reserve personnel, 350,000. They got tanks. They got planes and helicopters. You see what? The reason why the Israeli government want the United States to get involved with that, because they don't want no smoke from Iran, because Iran got an arsenal much more powerful than Hamas. And so does Lebanon. The Lebanese government, that's controlled by Hezbollah, they got missiles. They got an arsenal. And where did they get their arsenal from? They got it from Iran, because they backed by Iran. So judgment is coming, man. Judgment is coming to America. You know, all these missiles are going to hit all at once. They got submarines. They got ballistic missiles. So we see why the Israeli government want the United States government to get totally involved with boots on the ground to fight Iran, to fight their battles. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, and I'm going to start at the top. The subheading reads, the Lord's judgment on Babylon, which is America. It is not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about the daughter of Babylon. Because ancient Babylon became a province of the Medo-Persian Empire. It was not destroyed by fire. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them. It says, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners. All these different nations. All these different nations that's going to come up against Babylon. Right along with Russia. He said, I will send them fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that been of the archer been his bow. All these different nations, they have nuclear capabilities, such as Iran, North Korea, China, all these nations that's backed by Russia and Iran, such as Libya, Ethiopia, India. It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men. A brigandine is like a missile defense system, or defense system. It says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, all the armies of America, and all its branches, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, the Space Force. They're going to be destroyed. Because when Yahweh Shah cracked them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance, what do you think is going to happen? For all these different nations to get together and shoot missiles on America, what do you think is going to happen? This place is going to be utterly burnt with fire, destroyed. It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, which is America, and they that are thrust through in her streets. Let me read that again. It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forgotten, so Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. Talk about the Israelites, Israel, because of the atrocities that has been committed against the sons of the Most High. Started with the southern kingdom and the northern tribes, the slavery, the trail of tears, and all the atrocities that these devils committed against us. Buck breaking, devil's punch bowl, Rosewood. It's all kind of atrocities that has been committed against the sons of Israel by this devil. It says, back in Jeremiah 51 verse 5, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. It says, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. That's talking about coming out of her spiritually. And deliver yourself from, and don't be caught up in her iniquity. The alphabet soup shit that they got going on here, feminism, GMO foods, and all kind of hell and wickedness that's going on in the society. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not caught off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. A recompense for what? The devil's punch bowl, Derby's dose, Rosewood, turning men into moles, had them breeding grounds, putting a bag on a woman's head, putting a bag on a man's head, and having him have sex with his own mother. That's where the term motherfucker come from. These devils got to pay for all that separation of families. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations are drunken of the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. What's that wine? Their philosophies, their democracy, feminism. Whereas the women, putting the women above the man, giving women more rights than men. Like I stated earlier, the happy people, the alphabet people. That's how all these nations have been drunken. And first and foremost, taking on the philosophies and democracy that America, aka Babylon, has been pushing on the whole world. Now these nations are starting to see and wake up like, okay, wait a minute. We forsook our culture and took on democracy, and the only democracy brought us was our women bucking up against us. They got rights to divorce us, take half of our shit. The women are twerking. These women are mad with feminism. If you don't accept their agenda, the alphabet agenda, or that GAY agenda, that you now you look at as an outcast. They take the finance that they was giving you, they take that away. There's a lot of shit that go on with, and why these nations are mad. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. How are they trying to heal Babylon? Because financially, America is circling the drain. Morally, on a moral standpoint, America is circling the drain. On the infrastructure of America, it's crumbling, circling the drain. So they're trying to find all kind of remedies and all kind of ways to snap this financial system back in its proper order, being dominant, usurping dominance financially throughout the four corners of the earth. But now you got the BRICS. So it says, we would have held Babylon, but she is not held. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. For her judgments reach unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. What's that judgment? That judgment is thermonuclear destruction. But before that, you're going to have race wars. This nation is totally divided. You got a civil war. Look what's going on in Texas. 25 states is riding with Texas, and 25 states is riding with the Biden administration. So you can't tell me this nation, this empire is not totally collapsing. And that's what happened to all empires. When they reach in the climax of their rulership or their empire, so to speak. It says, Jeremiah 51 verse 10. It says, the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the works of the Lord Yahweh. And we seen that. All these camps rising up throughout America. All these great millstone camps throughout the whole four corners of the earth. And the internet is doing the heavy lifting. How do you think all these camps are waking up in Holland, Australia, just to name a few countries. Jamaica. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, which are the Iranians. The modern day Medes are the modern day Medes are the Russians. Slovakia, my bad. The modern day Medes are the Russians. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. What's that vengeance of the Lord? What's how the Lord's going to raise up the king of the Medes? Which are the modern day Russians. They're going to shoot missiles over here. Let me get this scripture real quick. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quakeneth and the foundations thereof. The sea, it says, the sea arises up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. And the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. When the Lord cracked them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance, and at the same time the nuclear missiles are hitting. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. The missiles are in a silo. That bow represents them silos. It says, his arrows, which represent the hypersonic, the supersonic missiles, and the regular conventional ICBM nuclear missiles. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon earth. With some plagues. What's that? Zechariah 14 verse 12. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again till they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out until it consume the foundations of the earth. Certain parts of the earth, the whole of America, the whole of Israel, certain parts of Russia, certain parts of China, certain parts of Iran, North Korea gonna be hit with nuclear missiles. Great Britain, Germany, France, perhaps certain parts of them gonna be hit with nuclear missiles too. That's why it says in Isaiah, the 24th chapter, the 19th verse on down, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunken from all the missiles being shot off. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returning not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Them plagues are them nuclear missiles, like stated earlier, like I stated seconds ago. Them plagues are them nuclear missiles that's going to be shot off over here in America. America going to shoot missiles off too, but America's going to be done for. America is done. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. And it reads, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Your nephew not gonna come out and rise up out of the ashes from a bunker and take over and build the kingdom back up. No, you're going into slavery. Pursuant to Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, the 14th verse, you're going into slavery. It says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. Slaki, let me read that again. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, which is Yahweh Shai, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. You know? And ye shall tread down the wicked. It said, ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of thy feet in the day that I will do this, saith the Lord of hosts. How are they going to be souls? How are they going to be ashes under the soles of your feet? Through thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots. So back in Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 12, but let me read some more of this article first. In a sobering assessment, Wallace, a former U.S. ambassador to the UN and CEO of United Against Nuclear, Iran, said that the world needs to wake up to the fact that Iran has its claws dangerously near a nuclear weapon. But y'all can have nuclear weapons though, huh? And your allies can have nuclear weapons. Israel can have nuclear weapons, huh? But Iran can't, huh? Do you see the hypocrisy in these devils? It says, UANI was founded on the first principle that the number one state sponsor of terrorism, the most ignorant and destabilizing actor on this world stage, could never get a nuclear weapon, because the consequence of that would be too great. Iran is hell-bent on developing a nuclear weapon, and it sees that it's not being checked in any way. It says, he added, it could happen in merely a blink of an eye. Observers have long accused Iran of aggressively growing its uranium stockpile in breach of the 2015 nuclear deal that aimed to curb the Tehran's nuke program in exchange for softening international sanctions. The pact begins to unravel when former U.S. President Donald Trump unilaterally abandoned its 2018 and reimposed sanctions, and Iran retaliated by ramping up its nefarious activities. Iran denies that it's trying to create nuclear weapons, but Wallace argued that Iran's nuclear program has no other purpose than the production of a nuke. And basically, that's the article. No, it's a little more. It says, and the facts don't lie. Only this month, former UN inspectors David Albright warned that Iran has enough weapons-grade uranium to make six nuclear bombs in 1 month. In a report for the Institute of Science and International Security, he said that Iran would only need about a week to produce its first nuclear weapon. His warning came soon after the UN's nuclear watchdog announced Iran had increased its production rate of highly enriched uranium up to 60%. It says modern nukes require uranium to be enriched up to 90%. A feat that the International Energy Authority, IAEA, said could happen very quickly. The next action we will see is Iran breaking out militarily with a nuclear weapon. This discovery has condemned this discovery was condemned by the U.S., Britain, France, and Germany, but no country made any mention of the consequences that Iran would face for the production increase. But alarms have already been blaring last year when the IEA found uranium particles enriched by up to 83.7% in Iran's secret underground nuke site, Fordo. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei's terror chief has warned they are not afraid of war. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, whatever last name is, chief says Iran chief has warned they are not afraid of war. A 2020 satellite emerged showing 2020 satellite image shows the construction of Iran's secret underground Fordo nuclear facility. It says a rare glimpse inside the Fordo Iranian conversion facility in Qom, North Iran. Inside Iran nuclear facility in Natanz, where it is believed highly enriched weapons grade uranium is being produced. It says, former Ambassador Wallace warned that the most important thing is to know is that Iran is not interested in a nuclear deal. Why would they? They're constantly being threatened by the Israeli government. They're constantly being threatened of war and sanctions by the American government. They're constantly getting sanctions slapped on them. They're constantly being threatened with war. So eventually you're gonna come out swinging. It says back in Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 12, set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make watch. Let me get my little light. It says set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. All the money that comes from these devils come from commerce, merchants, by the way of ships. Everything is being shipped out and everything is being shipped in through the sea. It says, the Lord of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill these. This is verse 4. Let me read it again. Slow down. The Lord of hosts says, the Lord of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and have stretched out the heavens by his understanding. It says, when he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth, and maketh lightning with rain, and bringeth forth winds out of his treasures. Basically, that's, America's going to be destroyed. America's going to be destroyed, and there's no remedy for this bitch. This is, I'm going to jump down. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 33. It says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is the time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his belly with my delicacies. He hath cast me out. The violence done to me," and it says, "The violence done to me, and to my flesh is upon Babylon." It says, "The violence done to me, and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood shall be and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say." Because all the atrocity that has been done against the sons of Israel in this land, from the natives, from the natives from the northern tribe and the southern tribes, all kind of atrocity has been committed against us, man. So the punishment for America, aka Babylon, is to be a total desolate wilderness, destroyed by thermal, hypersonic, and supersonic missiles, nuclear missiles. There's no remedy for this devil. You can't get out of this. You're going to be destroyed. Then you're going into slavery for 1,000 years. Then after that, you're going to be Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. So let me read out the rest of this article. He said, "I am very concerned that policy leaders around the world do not understand the Iranians like y'all do. The assessment of any responsible intelligence community right now is that we have lost the importance of the effectiveness of deterrence because we have no deterrence. Every time Iran acts and the United States fails to respond, that is dangerous, Iran will keep pushing back. While it's continued, whether it be at home or in commerce abroad, we have lost the plot on Iran." So do you think that Iran fears that we're going to somehow engage in a border strike on Iran's nuclear facilities? I don't think they feel threatened anymore in any way. The U.S. has been gearing up to launch revenge strikes following the Iran-backed military deadly drone strike on a U.S. base near the Jordan-Syria border last Sunday that killed 3 troops and injured dozens more. It is the first time American troops have been killed by enemy fire in the Middle East since the beginning of the Israeli-Hamas war that has spread chaos through the region. On Thursday, reports were linked that Washington had finalized its plans for multi-day retaliatory strikes on Iranian personnel and targets inside Iraq and Syria. On Friday evening, the U.S. did target Iran's Islamic, and on Friday evening, the U.S. did target Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Quds force that linked military groups by striking targets in Syria and Iraq. Officials said that the American missile strikes had hit more than 85 targets, including command and control headquarters and ammo dumps. U.S. President Joe Biden warned, let all those who might seek to do us harm know this: if you harm an American, we will respond. But prior to the link, Tehran issued a chilling warning. But prior to the leak, Iran issued a chilling warning that they are not afraid of war, and they're not. Why should it be? The head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, Major General Hassan Soleimani, raged, we do not leave any threats unanswered, and we do not look for war, but we are not afraid of it. While this argues that Iran has cross America's red line by killing its troops, and that this is the decisive moment in the Middle East crisis. There's a lot more, but the article was here. You can read it, but hit them a couple more scriptures. I'm gonna close it out. Okay. Salaki, bear with me real quick. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 34. Start at I'm gonna start at 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Salakia. Now my voice is itching. It says, Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which is the Greek word for saying Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and goats, which is a metaphor for the people. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Bosra, another name for America, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And that's what's coming to you devils, a great slaughter. A great slaughter is coming to you devils, and you're most justly deserve it. For all the wickedness you have done to the sons of Israel, and all the wickedness you're doing all over the world. Your GMO foods, chemtrails in the air, poison in the water. You devils got to go. Deforestation, you devils got to go. And that's your judgment, to be burnt with fire and put in slavery. So with that, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.